Hey guys, how are you? It is your girl, the Jackie Jackson, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. As always, today is Tax Deed Tuesday, right? So today's Tax Deed Tuesday is going to be a little bit different, a little different format. I have been sharing my screen with you guys the last couple of weeks and just really going, in depth and really being very, very transparent with you all regarding the process of how you can be successful with tax deeds. So I get so many questions about it. It's so funny because sometimes you'll comment, sometimes you'll be in my DM. Some of you may schedule strategy sessions, consultations with me, take advantage of that opportunity, which is absolutely, absolutely awesome. So I want to just go over some frequently asked questions that a lot of people ask, okay? A lot of people ask me, and I want to just kind of share that with you. So forgive me, I have my phone in my hand. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm I'm referencing the questions. All right, cool. So one of the questions that people ask me all the time is like, when you purchase a tax deed, like what is it? Do you own it? Do you own the property? Do you not own the property? Like what's going on with that? So an actual tax deed is a deed, like it conveys ownership and it transfers ownership, right? So when you are given the deed to anything, right, you actually are becoming the owner of that particular property, right? So some call it title, some call it, all kinds of other things. But the truth is, it's a transfer of ownership to you. So when you are the successful bidder or winner at a tax deed auction, the county is transferring that ownership from the previous owner to you. So the county literally like took ownership of it, of the property, and then they auctioned and foreclosed upon that property for the delinquent taxes. And then if you win the auction, then they're going to transfer that ownership rights to you. And now you own the property in its entirety. So the next question that I always get is like, do I get like possession? Like, can I just go get, can I move in the property, or, do I have access to it now that I have the tax deed, or do I have to like wait a certain amount of time before I can have access to the property? And every state in the United States has their own laws regarding redemption periods. So for example, in the state of Florida, after the tax deed is issued, recorded, you got it, there's no redemption period. So what that means is the previous owner cannot come back and say they want their property back, or, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I came up with the money and now I want to, get the deed to my property back, right? So in Florida's laws, it actually is written that the tax deed owner has immediate possession, like literally immediate possession. It says that in the law. So it's really powerful stuff there. So immediate possession, it's yours. So what happens if someone is occupying your property that you just acquired through a tax deed auction? Well, there's a process for that. Some people like, well, do I have to like honor the person's lease? Like if it's a property and it's occupied by a previous tenant of the previous owner, I don't know, something like that. Well, that's not your tenant. You don't have any obligation, or nor do you have any agreements with that person. The law says that they are occupying your property unlawfully, all right, period. All right. So you have the right to immediate possession. So the process to have that person remove themselves, if they verbally are not, going to leave, you tell them, hey, I just won this property and, you have to vacate the premises, is to serve them a notice, 5-day notice. serve the property, all unknown tenants, anybody who's there, just serve it. And then there's a process where you go back down to the courthouse and you apply for a writ of possession. And what that means is once it's granted to you, then you and the sheriff go back to your property, and the sheriff will escort those individuals that are occupying your property unlawfully. All right, so that's how, you know, it kind of works here in Florida. So is the right to immediate possession. In other states, it may be different. There may be a redemption period after you get the deed. Not, you know, not every state has that, but some states have redemption periods for, you know, 90 days, 6 months, 100, you know, whatever that looks like for you. So if that state does have a redemption period after the deed is issued, then all you have to do is just follow that state statutes and you should be fine. You'll be fine. All right. So what are lands available for taxes? That's another big question I get all the time. Like, what is that, Jackie? Well, lands available for taxes are tax deeds, properties that the county owns. So the county has taken possession of that land. So for example, maybe it didn't sell at the auction, there wasn't enough investors there, or whatever the situation is. But it's land that the county manages. And sometimes it depends on the county. They may call it lands available for taxes. They may call it surplus land, or I've seen it where it depends on the state. They may even call it like a land bank. And you can inquire directly with the county and purchase those properties directly from the county without any competition or any competitive bidding process. You just contact them, ask them how much it is and what's their procedure, and then they'll tell you, and then you just buy or don't buy. It's that kind of thing. All right. Are all properties like inhabitable or buildable? Can you, you know, move right in or something like that? Well, guess what? It just depends, right? So, you know, whenever you are bidding on a property, the most successful investors are the ones that do their homeworks prior to bidding on a property. Like, you don't want to bid on a property and win it and then find out that it doesn't have the property usage code or is not zoned for what you intended. So if you're looking for information about any property, right, in the state of Florida, the property appraiser's website gives you all of that detail. And then we also have something called GIS mapping. And a lot of counties across the United States have GIS mapping, not just like Florida. And that's where you can do like aerial views. You can go deep into the property's usage code and zoning and just find out more intimate details about that property. So you should know everything about a property before you bid on it, just FYI. Don't be bidding blind. Don't do it. You'll be mad at yourself. All right, next one. What are surplus funds? Oh my gosh, that one's a big one. So surplus funds or overages or excess funds, depending on, you know, what people are referencing it. All it is like the difference between the opening bid, right? The opening bid and what the property actually sold for at the auction. So if the opening bid was $1,000 and then the highest bidder competitively won that auction for $10,000, I'm kind of just doing some easy math. The surplus funds would be $9,000, right? That difference, right? Because 10,000 minus 1,000, because that's the total amount that the county wanted, was just the opening bid. The difference is 9,000. That $9,000 would be considered the surplus. It would be considered the overage or excess funds. And there's a process like every county has for property owners as well as previous lien holders that are entitled to be claimants. They can be the claimant for that excess money to kind of make themselves whole, if you will, for the property being sold by the county. So you would contact each county and get the, you know, surplus list, and you can essentially create a business out of helping previous property owners claim funds that they didn't even know was available to them, called surplus funds. And surplus funds that are not collected, not collected, like nobody collects it. There's another process for that, right? There's always a process. And that process, over time, the county escheats the process, the monies. So it's called escheatment, right? So escheat. It just means that they keep the funds and they absorb it and they turn it over to the state's Department of Revenue. And literally, guys, I mean, it's billions and billions of dollars that are not collected from excess funds proceeds and is turned over back to the state because it's uncollected. Okay. Now, what happens if a property is not purchased at a tax deed sale? Well, two things. It depends because every state statutes is different. Like some states, if the property is not purchased, then it's turned over directly to the tax lien certificate holder, and they get an opportunity to own, take possession of that land. Other states, what they'll do is they'll put it in the lands available. So in Florida, after like 90 days of like no sale, sometimes like a property doesn't sell and they'll just reschedule it for a future auction. But after 90 days, it's placed on the lands available list. So you could, essentially just go to the list and get it if you want to. Oh my gosh. So, do properties really sell? Like, can you really be like successful at this strategy? The answer is yes. Like people's unbelief doesn't mean that it's not happening all around you, it wasn't that long ago that humans thought that the world was flat, right? It didn't mean that it was, right? It just didn't mean that it was. Or, we thought that the planet Earth was like the center of the universe. And then we realized, oh, wait, there's more. There's other, celestial bodies out there. But my point here is that the strategy is a viable strategy, real estate investing strategy, and it can be used as a primary acquisition strategy if you so chose, or it can be used as a supplemental strategy for what you're already doing. Maybe you have a goal of acquiring, 4 to 5 properties per year, right? So maybe you're interested in purchasing 1 property per quarter. Well, guess what? Just in the state of Florida alone, you got 67 counties that are having auctions on a monthly basis. That is a wide variety of options for you. No matter if there's other investors at that auction, guess what? There's 12 months in a year, there's 67, and then some counties even have multiple auctions per month. You don't even have to wait for a whole month. You can, depending on their inventory, they may have auctions twice a month, once per week. Oh my gosh. Or, once per month. It just depends, right? What their inventory looks like. So, I encourage my students a lot of times to be patient with themselves and patient with the process, and be okay with like going outside of their immediate geographical area, because the objective is to purchase a property, right? And either cash flow it or put it back on the market for a retail sale, or maybe they'll just wholesale it where they attach a small margin premium and then they put it back on the put it back on the market like as is. So like another investor can actually purchase that property. Anyway, so this week, Tax Deed Tuesday was all about our frequently asked questions. And I just really am very grateful and thankful for each of you supporting and watching and learning with me. And at any time you have any questions, just let me know. All right. I love this stuff. I love real estate. I love teaching, and I'm all about prosperity and increase. All right. So this is your girl, B. Jackie Jackson, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. And I will see you guys next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.